Hello, you are on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. More than 90% watch my videos without a subscription. Subscribe to the channel so we always stay in touch. Enjoy watching. Story 1. My husband wrote his ex a very sweet email the day before our wedding. I'm not sure how to feel about it. We, F32, M39, have been married for a bit over a year, but we have been dating for 7. Before me he had her, F39. They broke up because she wanted to get married and he didn't. We share an iPad and usually he logs out from his Gmail when he's finished, but yesterday he must have fallen asleep with the iPad because I found it under his nightstand. The iPad was on the email, dated back to the day before our wedding. He wrote how this was really happening now. It's finally daunting on him that it was really over between them. He's finally getting married and moving on. I'm writing this on a throwaway, because I have friends that use Reddit on occasion. He apologized for being ready now and not the same time as she was. He wondered how their life together would have been and that whenever he saw her with her children he couldn't help but feel they could have been his if he wasn't stupid. And made him terribly sad. He's scared of the unknown with me even if I made him happy, and again that he regretted that they weren't on the same stage in life. And then some goodbye talk. She didn't respond to him. I don't know what to feel now. I know the woman. She is a friend of his sister and we meet her a lot. She's married and seems happy. I'm so jealous and I don't know what to do or say. Edit. I was curious about his proposal to me that was out of the blue since he told me he wasn't ready yet and suddenly he popped the question. He was very down that period and I thought it wasn't good between us, but then when he proposed I thought to myself that I was overthinking. I love him, so I said yes and was so happy. It happened a day after his ex got married, 2 years ago. Also remember that he was disappointed that she didn't invite him and he told his sister I thought we were better friends. I'm drowning in my tears now. Thank you very much everyone. I went to bed and woke up to so many comments and I appreciate you all. I'm sorry I was being a bitch in some comments. I just felt triggered when a loser writes how they feel sorry for women like me when they admit to attracting loser men. I guess I'm wrong, so sorry, but I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth having someone to brag about having multiple exes, not over them anyway, pettiness aside. Anyway, I have been crying all night, but when I tried to collect myself and really think about why I was crying, he wasn't even in top 10. I thought I loved him, but I guess I didn't. I cried for the years I spent on him. I cried because I've settled for him because I've invested so many years on him. I cried so much because I should have gotten out of this relationship long time ago, but every time I thought about leaving, I thought about I've spent too many of my best years with him not to see it through. I called my friend and asked if she wanted to take a morning walk and a coffee with me. I told her I was leaving my husband and her answer was it's about time. We talked about settling and spending years on something we knew deep down wasn't right. I told her I thought I loved him more than this and she said it's normal to try to convince ourselves we love someone we're stuck with. She told me I was too young to stay in a marriage, but not young enough to waste more years on him. So I'm telling him today that I want a divorce. This email may have been a blessing in disguise. For the both of us. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. Story 2. OP finds Grindr chats on her straight boyfriend's phone. He's still at work and will be there for 6 more hours, so I can't even confront him. I'm just so hurt I don't even know how to react. We've been dating for 6 years, have a son together, and moved away from all our family to start a life together in a new state, and it's all for nothing. I'm just so mad that he would do this to me. He knows that I'm bisexual and super open and understanding. If he thought he was bi or gay he could have said something. We could have carefully calculated a way to split up without hurting our home or our son so he could be happy dating men, but he had to be selfish and ruin my life in the process because he wanted to go explore this double life behind my back. Most of the messages stopped after an exchange of Snapchat usernames and I couldn't see the deleted chats on Snapchat, but there was one that had a lot of graphic sexting and nudes exchanged, and one of the guys I saw on there was someone I recognized that my boyfriend had introduced as a new friend, and he went over to watch movies a few nights. I now have a feeling he's had sex with some of these men. I don't even know what to do, I'm just so angry and hurt. So here is the update I know many were anticipating, although I'll admit it probably isn't as dramatic as many people were hoping for. To preface this update, however, I'd like to address some questions I've seen in the comments of the last post. Why did I have his phone? His phone broke and he knows I'm a little nerdy, so he gave me the phone to fix. For my fellow nerds, he cracked the back glass on his iPhone and damaged the power/flash flex cable, so in the panic logs I read that there was no response from thermal monitored and his phone was power cycling every 2 to 3 minutes. I guess he didn't expect me to look at his apps? Ig. Would it be different if it were a woman? No, you numbnuts shit. Cheating in a 6-year relationship is a horrific violation of trust regardless of what's in their pants. I've fucked an entire spectrum of genders in my single years before meeting my ex and identify as bisexual/pansexual myself. I'm not homophobic/biphobic. What's wrong with poly? Nothing, TBH. It's something I honestly would have been open to. I've even joked with him before about going to the local LGBTQ+ bar and picking up a cute little girlfriend. I've sent him videos on TikTok from one of my favorite creators who is in a poly relationship. I bought a silicone dick to fuck him with. So that's what hurts the most. That he knew I was a very loving and accepting partner, and yet he still chose to completely destroy our relationship and my ability to trust by cheating on me and lying to me about where he was/who he was with while putting my reproductive health at risk. Anyway, on to the juicy bits. Not really, it's pretty anticlimactic, sorry. He came home last night about 3 hours late and was met with the usual "Hey dear, sorry work ran late." I was stone-faced and responded, "I called, coworker." And he confirmed that everyone left on time. Silence, radio silence. I was so angry and enraged, but the hurt and betrayed side of me overpowered and I just broke down and started crying. I screamed, "I saw your phone. I know everything." And just sobbed for about 10 minutes while he looked at the floor and shuffled around awkwardly. After I was able to gather myself, I let him know that our relationship is irreparable and I'd like him to leave as soon as he is able. I asked if he had sex with any of the men and he confirmed that he had sex with the one he introduced to me and one other. We will need to keep stable for the sake of our son, but otherwise I want nothing to do with him again. I reminded him that for 6 years of my youthful life I bore his child and created a home with him as the love of my life, and he chose to throw it all away for some dick. I reminded him to be grateful for all I gave him over the years and that he will never have another relationship like this one. Reality sank in for him and he started crying, but I left the room because I honestly didn't want to hear it. He's in the beginning stages of looking for a cheap apartment to move into soon and will leave once a lease is signed. I'm glad we're at least mature for now and it will be a clean break. Our separate bank accounts will remain the same and I documented a transfer of 1/2 our savings from his account to mine this morning. We each have our respective vehicles. We agreed that we would have split custody based around work schedules with me as the primary caretaker, and we will both document the amount of money he will provide for the continuous care of our son since I will be primary. I'd like to avoid court-ordered custody agreements and child support due to past traumas involving family courts, but I let him know that I will not hesitate to take him to court if I need to. In the end, I'm just empty and hurt. I'm embarrassed and angry and all the emotions at once. He was genuinely my best friend and I loved the life we had, but I refused to be disrespected and lied to in a relationship, so breaking up needed to be done. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, there are a lot of interesting stories ahead of you.